in the Goetic magical system, you really have a kind of two ways you can go. You can perform sorcery for what they call low drives. And low drives are lust, destruction, wealth. That's kind of where it goes. Now, Luciferian Goetia approaches it a little different in that you can utilize all those in an initiatory sense, which present long-term goals such as insight, utilizing knowledge, and things like that. The original Goetia always uses Christian incantations or Jewish incantations and utilizing Yahweh and Jewish gods. And you're really tormenting or bullying, if you will, in a sense of writing the 72 spirits, who are supposed to be bound originally by Solomon, who did not exist in the context in which he's written of, nor have the same deities at that time. So totally, when it comes down to it, bullshit. Now, anything you get into occult-wise, magic-wise, number one, you have to believe in it within your magical work, what you're doing within. It's internal. And second, you have to be able to question it. If you can't question it, it's not worth doing. Blind faith is for the sheep, not for the wolf or the independent thinker. So, and that's really what Luciferian ideology and practice presents now, is, try it if you question something about it. Research it a little more. So in terms of the Yatuk Dinoih, the basic foundation of it is all self-initiation through extremely dark paths. Instead of going through to evoke for lust, you're going through to discover the lust within you, what drives you, and then using it to the best of your ability. If it's anger, if you have anger you have to overcome, then it is confronting a very violent sense of self in the darkest way, which could involve mental practice, could involve putting yourself in a situation which is going to force change. It's also internal magic in terms of, with that knowledge you obtain, how are you changing it to gain power and within your own life? That's a key part of it. There are mysteries within the Yatuk Dinoih and this type of practice which centers around the concept of divine consciousness, or the daemon, the deva, the black flame. Okay, and that is found, has its origins in the old Vedic texts, of which Indra is the chief deva. The demonology of the Yatuk Dinoih emerges from the Avesta. The Avesta is an ancient text for all of Zoroaster's foundations. There are Indo-Iranian terms such as Yatu or Yatus, which essentially is an evil being or sorcerer possessing magical powers. Now, those who practice Deva Yasna or demon worship don't actually bend knees worship demons. It is worshiping that which is composing and empowering, thus, your daemon. Deva, however you want to term that. Now, there are things called druj or drug, which are harmful entities. To Luciferians, they are not harmful. They're challenging and empowering if you master them. They're also related to the word droga, and which is also lie and serpent, dragon. There are also the Pelikas, who are female witches, demons, who are considered basically a manifestation of the Semitic Lilith. They fall from the sky in the form of meteors and seduce people. Of course, they are not literal, because if they're literal, everyone would have dates at all times. There are many, a plethora of devas and druj to go through, which I'm not going to go through here. You'll find those in the grimoire. But I will say, the difference between Yatuk Dinoih in terms of sorcery and Goetia is this. If you evoke, okay, you're talking about manifesting via and bound to a sigil or a symbol, okay, representing something, probably that specific power, to achieve or attain something. You're going to use your own blood. You're going to use a piece of clothing. You're going to use something personal to you, okay, and then you're going to find a point where you have a close connection with this Deva or Druj. And essentially you're going to eventually bring it within you, overpower, and consume it, making it a part of you. And that's a type of vampiric sorcery, which is utilized by those in the Black Order of the Dragon, have been for quite some time. The second is, if you were doing Goetia, you could do the same thing, but it's usually very short term, and keep in mind the Goetia spirits are watered down from gods that are featured in Dragon with Two Flames. The Yatuk Dinoih Devas are from the Indo-Iranian pantheon, Indra, the Vedas, and all those texts. So that's a very important aspect too. Sorcery with Ahriman is a mystery unto itself, in that when I say mystery, it relates you to that force, and that force is within nature. It's the motivator in our universe. It is the motivator that through death comes new beginning, life, conquering. In the Greek, Hellenic kind of merging of Zoroastrianism with Western Greek pantheons, we find that Ahura Mazda is essentially equated to Zeus, which is useful in another path, but when one is going through the Yatuk Dinoih, Ahura Mazda is no option. You are encircled within the essence of Ahriman, so you will change. You might become something you're frightened of. You might not. You might use that. But it is a path of dedication. You can't get halfway through it and stop. You can't back out, because it will drive you to very strange areas and mentally harm many people that go through it. So make sure that you feel it and you study it first. Otherwise, just continue in what I call traditional Luciferianism, with the balanced sense of inner light and such things. But there are clearly defined reasons why the Yatuk Dinoih is more impactful, important, and significant if you can get past, if you don't need Christian symbolism, if you can work with pure deific mask as opposed to watered down ones. So that's really some key things there.